Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. The angles are weird because I have you on a little tripod, not my typical stand in the ring light. We're going to be shopping my stash, and that is why I have it down off of its typical mount. Also, this is the eye look that you saw in yesterday's video. You're also going to see it in the next video because tonight I filmed a tutorial for it, because I wasn't efficient enough to film it at the time that I first applied it for the new releases video. Such is life. Alright, I am about to cull through my collection and pick my products that I'm going to be using for the next 2 weeks, and I'm bringing you along on the journey with me. Let's do this. Alright, so this is my makeup basket. This is just a little flip-top box where I keep the items that I'm going to be focusing on for this week. I am doing these selections in conjunction with the 2 projects that I have going on. So one is my Pan That palette, so I'm going to go ahead and throw my Tartelette in Bloom in here. And then the other project that I have going on is, it started off being a month of minis, and now it's more like monthly minis. I'm trying to use up the deluxe size samples that I have floating around in my collection and trying to reduce their numbers significantly. Had to adjust the camera so that you could see the drawers, but I now have all of my samples housed in these 2 drawers of my acrylic organizer here. So I'm going to go through and pick out the items in terms of how I apply them to my face. So first up is going to be primer, and I've got quite a selection here to go through. So just looking at all the ones that I have here, and I want to try something that I haven't really given much attention to. And that would be this one here. So this is from Laura Mercier, and this is the Radiance Foundation Primer. The next thing that I typically apply then would be my foundation, and I've got quite a selection over in this corner. I did recently just get this one from Sephora. It's from Fenty Beauty, and it's in a shade that is significantly deeper than I would normally wear. It's in shade 300, and I got it specifically for the purpose of mixing with some of these lighter shades over here. So I'm going to choose this one because that's its designed purpose. And then the lightest of the foundation samples that I have is this one here from Dior. It's the Dior Skin Forever Undercover, and it's in the shade 20. So I think mixing the 2 of those together is going to provide the right color for my current skin tone. The next step for me is concealer, and I have that in the other drawer up here. I only have one deluxe sized sample at this point, and it is the Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer from IT, and this is in the shade Medium. Right now that is a little bit too neutral. It almost looks white on my skin at this point, so I want to bring in one of my full-sized concealers that's going to add some yellow to it because that is the undertone that I have. So this is the MAC 24-Hour Studio Fix Smooth Wear Concealer. It's in the shade NC20. It is very strongly yellow, so when I mix those 2 concealers together, it should be the right undertone. I'm going to go ahead and put this drawer back, and we will come back to it for mascara. I'm going to bring this one out. So after I apply my concealer, I typically set it down, and I have been working on the Bye Bye Pores Pressed Powder from IT Cosmetics. It came smashed, unfortunately, but I've made a very good dent in it, and I'm actually really enjoying it. So I'm going to pull that one out again for this week. For my face, I'm down to 2. I have been using the Becca one for quite some time, and I'm amazed at how much there still is. But to shake things up, I'm going to use the one from Stellar. This is their Cosmic Face Powder in Haze. I only have one contour sample size. It's a very good size sample at that. This one's from Smashbox, and I'm going to obviously pull that one out. For bronzer, I had been using this loose one from Nude by Nature. It's a little bit extra work for me, so I'm going to give it a bit of a break. And instead, for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to use Hoola from Benefit. There it is. I've hardly ever used this because it's typically a little bit too dark for me. I normally gravitate towards the Hoola Light, but I'm tanned, so there's our winner. For blushes, I am trying to get use out of all of them. I have already included all of these ones here in different makeup baskets, so I'm going to switch over to Benefit here. I have Gold Rush, which is a bit of a peachier toned, and California, which is more of a coral shade. I'm going to use those two this week. I do typically like Dandelion. It's just a really nice light pink, but I don't think it's going to be quite dark enough to combat my tan and actually show up. Not yet. And then for highlighter, I really only have 3 options left. One is a stick, one is these Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops, and then I have the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. This is what I have been using, and I'm really tempted to pull that one out again, but I'm going to shake it up. I'm going to go with Hourglass. I really highly doubt I'm ever actually going to get much use out of these ones just because they are so intense that it is like almost intimidating to work with, but I'm not ready to declutter it just yet. I'm going to leave it in there. So now that all the face is taken care of, minus setting spray, which I'm just going to pull the MAC Fix Plus one here, which is almost empty, and then I have one more full over here. I would be priming my eyelids. I have been fairly dedicated here to the Urban Decay Potion, eyeshadow primer potion, basically for the last, I would think it's at least 4 weeks. So I'm going to shake it up, even though this is almost done. I'm going to grab the Too Faced one. This is the Shadow Insurance, just to see and remind myself how I feel about this one. Since we're in here and there's only one more product, I'm just going to pull some eyeliners here. I've got a black and a brown, and again, if I want to reach in and grab some of these other shades, I'm like totally fine to do that. It's just for the sake of convenience, I'm going to put those other ones in there. I finished my sample of the Kat Von D tattoo liner just today, so I need a different black liquid liner. My most recent one that I received was like free with the purchase of the Pizza palette from Glamlight, and this is their liquid liner. And it's kind of neat. It just looks like a little feather. It's a little quill, like ink pot thing there, and there is the eyeliner. So I'd like to really put that one to the test. Side note, I will be using that Pizza palette at some point, and I will put up a review and maybe some eye looks with it as well, but it just hasn't happened yet. I'm also going to grab a brown liquid liner. Heading back over to the original drawer, it's time to pick a mascara. I really want to put a dent in the mascaras, so I'm going to grab one that I don't think I like, and it's from MAC. I've actually got 3 from MAC. I'm not sure which one it is that I don't really like. Let's just go with the false lashes ones. I can't remember which one it is, but this is their false lashes in extreme black. So there are the products that I'm going to be reaching for on a day-to-day basis. Now, part of the fun of all this, though, is that for filming YouTube videos and doing Instagram pictures, I'm allowing myself to choose up to 2 other palettes if I want, just so that I can focus on those for looks in videos, rather than being compelled to only use the In Bloom forever and always until it's done. So, I've already given some thought to that this week, and what I want to do is pull some of my single shadows. In specific, I have all of my singles housed in these double-sided Z palettes. I have them arranged in terms of their tones. And then I have this little empty one here. This one is from Shop Miss A. They're fantastic. I think it was like $3. It'll hold 9 shadows. I'm going to be aiming to devote or at least center the looks around the shadows that are going to be in here. So I think what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to come up with a full palette with transition shades and all that fun stuff in there, I'm just going to pick like star of the show kind of shadows and then build some looks around that using the remaining shadows that are in here. So off the top, I just depotted this tonight. I haven't actually used it yet. It is from MAC. It's the shade Just Chillin', which was part of their holiday release for 2018. And it's this beautiful silver. There, focus, focus, focus. You can do it. There it is. So I think that would be super fun to work with. I am kind of drawn towards this shade, which I'm pretty sure is Insomnia. Yes. It's beautiful. It's like that nice blue with a bit of the reddy brown undertone to it. Just really gorgeous. And I haven't played with this in so long, so I'm going to bring that one out. What is this? I don't know what this is. I depotted some palettes at some point, and some of them just didn't have names. This, I think this was from the 39A palette from Morphe. I could be wrong on that, but I think it was. It's just like a really pretty antiqued gold. I'm going to add that one in just because it's drawing my eye. Now, I'm obviously not trying to create a palette of 9 that are all going to work together. I'm really, like I said, just looking for the spotlight shades. This one here, this one was from the Morphe palette. I do know that. And it's this bright pinkish red shade. It's just a ton of fun. I have not used it very much, but I think it would be really fun to play with. All right. So then looking at this one here, you can see it's all purples, and then one bright pink, which unfortunately has got a little crumbly since I depotted it. Let's see. I'm going to take a look at this one here. This is Unicorn Tears. It goes by another name now, and I don't know the new name. This is from Strobe Cosmetics. It's one of their singles. And it's this beautiful bluey purple duochrome. So I'm going to grab that one. I'm also really drawn to the bright pink, so I am going to grab that one. This one is from Blush Tribe. It was from a quad that they put out. It was a limited edition quad. I think it was, what was it called? Like Just Blend It, I think is what the quad was called. There it is there. Okay, I have room for 3 more. So let's head over to the blue and green one. What am I going to go for? This one, I don't think I've even used it. It's from AMI Cosmetics. And it's the shade Frank. And this was part of their Halloween collection. So there's the green there. So I'd like to give that one some love because I have not done so yet. I'm going to pull this one out. So this is from Arbonne. And it is in the shade Forest. And it's a really pretty olivey color, and I keep pulling it out, and then I just never get around to actually wearing it for some reason. But it's this really nice, satiny, finished olive shade that I am going to add to this little grouping of 9 here and make a concerted effort to make an eye look using that one. So then I have room for one more shade, and I'd like to pull a blue because although I have that unicorn tears, it is more of a purple shade than actually blue. So the blues are down around in here. Well, my eye is immediately drawn to this one, which is another shade from Strobe Cosmetics. This one is in the shade Azura, but again, it may be going by another name at this point. They did a whole rebrand a little while ago with their singles, so I'm not sure. I want to go for something deeper than that, though. One of these navy shades down here, just honestly, just for the challenge of it. I'm going to go for the matte shade. I'm pretty sure this shadow was from the 39A as well. Again, it doesn't have a name on the back, but although I said I wasn't like making a palette out of this, I want to see what I can do with the navy and the silver because that is just speaking to me. I'm going to pop that one in there, and there's our little 9-pan palette for the next 2 weeks. But I think breaking it down into this size and knowing that I'm not necessarily going to use them all together or even use all of them in the next 2 weeks, but just narrowing the focus a bit, I think will allow me to be overall more creative in terms of color combinations and application, things like that. Alright guys, thank you so much for coming along with me, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.